All right, so today we're really diving into something I think a lot of people are curious about. China's latest, let's call them financial maneuvers. And we're going to try to cut through all the noise and figure out what it actually means. What's the signal and what's the noise?
Yeah, definitely a lot of noise out there.
For sure. So we're talking about the stimulus package. It's big. It has the potential to really shift markets worldwide. So no big deal.
Yeah, no, this is a big one.
So set the stage for us. Why is China making these moves now?
Well, it's been kind of brewing for a bit. China's economy, it's not been quite the powerhouse that it was. Things have been, well, slowing down.
Sputtering a bit.
Yeah, sputtering's a good word for it. And the stimulus package, this is their government's attempt to jumpstart things, get the engine running smoothly again.
So almost like a shot of adrenaline for the economy.
Exactly. That's a really good way to put it. It's designed to be fast-acting, powerful.
High impact.
Yeah. And they're using this, what they're calling a financial stimulus to do it.
Okay, financial stimulus sounds impressive, but what are we actually talking about here? What does it mean in real-world terms?
So basically, it's a bunch of different levers they're pulling, all with the goal of pumping money into the economy, encouraging people to spend, encouraging businesses to invest.
Okay, so more money flowing should theoretically get things moving again.
That's the general idea. One of the biggest things they've done is this thing called a reserve requirement cut, or RRR.
RRR, right. And now for those of us who, don't spend all day thinking about reserve requirements,
Sure.
What does that actually mean?
So think of banks as these big pools of money. A reserve requirement is basically the government telling the banks, hey, you need to keep a certain percentage of this money locked away just in case things go bad.
A safety net.
Exactly, a safety net.
Makes sense.
But with this RRR cut, China is basically saying, okay, you don't have to hold as much back.
Interesting.
And this frees up a ton of money. We're talking potentially trillions of yuan.
Trillions with a T. Okay, now we're talking. So they're making it easier for people to borrow money.
Exactly. Easier to borrow money, easier to get loans. And that usually means more spending, more investment.
Businesses can expand. People might buy that new house they've been thinking about.
Yep, all of that. It's all about injecting that money back into the economy and getting things moving again.
Right, getting the engine revved up. Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle, this RRR cut. But I'm guessing there's more to this financial stimulus thing.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more to unpack here. We've just scratched the surface.
So they're basically trying to, grease the wheels of the Chinese economy, get things moving again. But, let's shift gears for a second and talk about why this matters to, well, everyone else, even if you're not planning a shopping spree in Shanghai anytime soon.
Right, because what happens in China, it doesn't just stay in China.
Definitely.
It's the global economy, it's so interconnected. Any kind of shakeup in one place, it can send ripples everywhere.
Okay, so what kind of ripples are we talking about here?
Well, for one, we're already seeing a surge of interest in Chinese assets.
Chinese assets meaning?
So think like Chinese company stocks. ETFs, too, those exchange-traded funds.
All right, ETFs, those are like baskets of stocks. Yeah.
Exactly. You're tracking a particular market or a sector.
So it's like you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. You're diversifying.
Smart.
And here's what's interesting. You've got these big players, these hedge funds. They haven't really invested much in China before, at least not on this scale. And now they're jumping in.
They're seeing something.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense that there's potential here.
So everyone's kind of holding their breath.
Yeah.
Wondering if this stimulus is going to be a turning point.
It's a pivotal moment, that's for sure. And it's not just about, will China's economy rebound? It's bigger than that.
Okay, how so?
This could affect everything. Global supply chains, commodity prices, even the value of the U.S. dollar could be impacted.
Wow. Okay, so this is a big deal. But let's zoom in for a second, because I'm sure some people listening are thinking, okay, this all sounds very important, but how long can we actually expect these measures to last?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a quick fix, or are we talking about a bigger shift?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And honestly, no one really knows for sure. There are a lot of factors at play here.
Okay, so what should we be looking out for? What are the big indicators?
Well, first and foremost, you got to watch how China's economy responds to the stimulus.
So, are people actually spending more?
Exactly. Are businesses investing? Are they hiring?
Are those wheels actually turning?
Yeah. Are they picking up speed?
Right.
And then you've got the global economic climate to consider. Things are a little uncertain right now.
To say the least.
Inflation is still a concern in a lot of places. Interest rates are rising.
So even if China does everything right, if the rest of the world isn't buying, That's a problem.
It's all connected.
It always is.
And then, of course, you've got those wild cards, geopolitical risks, unforeseen events.
Because there's always something.
Always something.
Yeah, like you said, there are a lot of moving parts.
A lot of uncertainty, too.
For sure. But I'm guessing even with all that uncertainty, there are some differing opinions out there about how effective these measures will be long term.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, you've got some experts who think this is just a Band-Aid.
Okay, a short-term fix.
Right, exactly. They're saying China needs to address some bigger issues.
Structural issues.
Yeah, like really get in there and make some changes if they want to see a real lasting recovery.
Yeah. So it's not just about pumping money into the system.
Not just that, no. These experts, they're saying China needs to focus on things like boosting domestic consumption.
But getting their own people to buy more.
Exactly. And fostering innovation, becoming less reliant on exports.
So less about made in China and more about innovated in China.
That's the gist, yeah. But then on the other hand, you've got this whole other group of experts. They're saying this stimulus package, this could be a sign of something much bigger.
Like a fundamental shift.
Yeah, exactly. They see this as China making a move.
Trying to be more dominant on the global stage.
Exactly. And they point to things like China's investments in green technology, their push for technological independence as evidence for this theory.
So it's like, which path are they going to choose? Are we talking about a temporary fix or a whole new game plan?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It really is. And I'm guessing for investors, for businesses, this is a situation where you really want to stay informed.
Oh, absolutely. This has the potential to really reshape things. The global economic landscape could look very different depending on how this all plays out.
So for those listening, for those taking notes, what are the key takeaways here? What should we be paying attention to?
Well, first of all, keep an eye on China's stock market.
Okay. Any benchmarks in particular?
The Hang Seng index in Hong Kong, that's a good one to watch.
Hang Seng, got it.
If that index keeps climbing, that's a good sign. Investors are feeling good about China's prospects.
Makes sense. What else?
Another thing to watch is the Chinese currency.
The yuan.
Right, the yuan. See how it's doing against other major currencies, like the US dollar, for example.
Okay, so if the yuan strengthens, that means...
It generally means investors have confidence in China's economy.
Right, they're willing to bet on the yuan.
Exactly.
Currency fluctuations, check.
And then finally, it never hurts to see what the big financial institutions are saying.
The Goldman Sachs of the world.
Yeah, exactly. JP Morgan Chase, those guys. They've got whole teams of experts analyzing this stuff day in and day out.
So their insights can be really valuable.
They can, definitely.
It's like they have a finger on the pulse.
For sure.
Well, there you have it. We dove deep into China's stimulus package, unpacked what it all means and why it matters.
It's a big one.
Definitely a big one. And as always, we encourage you to keep digging, keep asking questions, stay curious out there. We'll see you next time.